Hello!
Ah, the Avengers, or Avengers Assemble, as it was called over here due to the name clashing with that old TV show and the awful movie they made with Sean Connery later. Yes, massively popular superhero film. They completely cocked up the action figures by not having most of the characters in the shops until way after the film had been forgotten, so well done there. However, China would always step in to take up the slack with some of their own knock-off joys. And I present for your delectation 2 different sets of Avengers figures. I had to buy 2 different sets because I didn't get all the Avengers unless I did. Plus, it turns out all the figures are different anyway, so Billy bonus. Okay, let's start with the big green fella, or as we call him, Captain America. No, the Hulk. Here he is. And yes, he doesn't look very angry. He looks sort of confused. Very confused, in fact. I'm thinking this is the Hulk who has just logged onto YouTube after one of the layout changes. It's all sort of, Hulk not understand why left justified now. Also, he's got a big black boil in his chest. Or is it white? It's neither. All these figures, for some reason, have a massively powerful red LED in it, which shine immediately and directly into a child's eyes when you press the button on their back. Well done, because it really hurts, because I did it to myself by accident the first time. Also notice, one of his legs is much shorter than the other. Yes, I know the one's bent a little bit more, but not that much more. He's never going to be able to balance on a motorcycle like that. But other than that, I suppose the actual sculpting's quite nice. He's got lots of veins over him. Lots and lots of holes in his back and his bum, and he's got pockets for, actually I've just noticed the back hasn't been painted and the front has. Loser's points, it's down to -20 now. Well, there we are, that's the Hulk. He may be confused, not angry, but at least he does look a bit like he's supposed to. Cue Thor. At least, I think it's Thor. I mean, he's got a hammer and is wearing Thor's armour, but the face isn't really screaming Thor to me. For starters, all the hair is literally gold, which is slightly odd. And secondly, well, it doesn't look anything like Chris Hemsworth. It looks far more like a cross between Mickey Rourke in Iron Man 2 and David Thewlis from the Harry Potter films. Very odd. It's like they haven't even seen him. Well, they got a sort of character design, but it was missing the head, so they just made one up. Comes with his own flappy cape and eye-destroying laser LED. Look how bright these are, seriously. You can see all the flesh in my finger light up. It's awful. But he has got his magic hammer Mjolnir, which, look, flies and does way smack. I think it's the only accessory they come with, actually. Weirdly, his legs are like solid rubber and feature no articulation at all. And the only thing he can seem to do with his arms is hold his head in agony and... Right. Next Avenger, it's Batman, the most popular of all the Avengers, because of course he never was a bloody Avenger, because he's from a different company. This is a particularly glum Batman. He's not been having a good time of it. Oh, my parents are dead. Oh, you've got a feel for him, haven't you? But they have given him the proper Batman cape, which is quite nice, so it does seem to be made out of some sort of weird plasticky toilet roll. He's got no spikes in his arms. He's got the wrong boots, but he has at least got roughly the right colours. But he just looks so glum, bless his heart. Looks kind of like a sad dog. Less Batman and more the incredible sulk. Anyway, bugger off. He's not even in the Avengers or anything. Time for the real sexy lady, Scarlett Johansson, who hasn't turned up, so this man has instead. Not really sure what's going on here. The more we look at the face, the more disturbed we get. It appears to be covered and, well, absolutely plastered in peeling and crumbling foundation. Presumably so what is obviously a man in a wig is covering up his natural complexion. I mean, I know these aren't licensed, but Scarlett Johansson should sue anyway. Look at those pistols. Tiny little silver starting pistols. She's not going to do anything with that. This is an odd figure. It's made out of that sort of hard rubber that Thor's legs were, except all over. And, yeah, the articulation isn't particularly marvellous. I don't know what sort of vehicle you pilot with your legs like that. Well, they got the uniform vaguely right, but the face really isn't doing it for me, to say the least. I'll just give you a few seconds of that. You see that? That's your girlfriend, that is. Right. Next up, oh, I don't believe it. It just broke when I picked it up from the table. It's this sort of quality. It might be a little bit fragile and rigid on the plastic side. Anyway, it's Wolverine. I think he was in the Avengers for a short period. Good for him. Got sort of a sneering face going on. Looks a bit like one of the old Toy Biz figures. They've nicked the mould off, actually. And it's just occurred to me, actually, where's Batman? Yeah, these are essentially the same figure, other than the head and the hands, hence why Batman is all wrong, because they've just recoloured Wolverine. Oh no, and the upper arms, look, because he's got these shoulder pad things going on. Well, that would be one of the better figures, I suppose. It does look exactly like Wolverine, and has, of course, his trademark light in the chest feature. I mean, seriously, couldn't they have just left that for Iron Man? And he's got his claws and all that. However, there is a slight fragility to these figures. That one's not breaking so easily. That one just dropped off. Oh well, a little bit of super glue and it'll be as crap as new. That's reminding me of something, that sneer, and I can't put my finger... Elvis. Elvis, of course. And the last figure from this collection, Spider-Man, who I also believe was in the Avengers in the comics for like 12 minutes or something. He also features the most pointless points of articulation ever. You can rotate his ankles so he can go and amuse us all. He's got horrific thin spindly arms, presumably as part of his spider mutation, horrifying freakish fingers, and some sort of karate chop action by the looks of it. And they couldn't be bothered to put the black lines on most of the body and have just done it on the chest. The chest, yes, with the LED that lights up. I'm going to stop mentioning that now. It's not that bad a figure, I suppose. I mean, you wouldn't dare give it to a child. It'll snap into pieces and choke them to death within seconds of them looking at it. But hey, it does actually look like Spider-Man. So well done. We're all really impressed. And now we go on to the second set of figures, because, you know, we want a complete set. And by we want, I mean we want anything other than... Let's start with the poster boy who hasn't appeared yet, Captain America. Dun dun dun. Notice how he's in a different scale to the others. He does actually come with his shield, this is a good start, and appears to be based on some sort of Marvel Legends sculpt, I would have said, by, well, just by the style of it, really. Unfortunately, there's a big problem with the neck. He's broken it, basically, and just looks at the floor all the time. Maybe he's been talking to Batman, who has depressed him so much he can't lift his head anymore, I don't know. If you do try and kind of lift his head up, you end up with whatever the flipping heck that is supposed to be. It looks alright from the front. Well, actually not when you can see it in 3 dimensions. But turn to the side and you've got Giraffe-Necked Nearly Dead Freak of America. That's his new name. Oh, lovely utility belt. And the... well, it's a lot more solid than most of the other ones, except for Black Widow. She was basically made out of hard rubber. But yeah, I'm guessing Marvel Legends ripoff didn't do a very good job. There, that's put him out of his misery. Maybe we could draw a tiny little extra head on there, that'd be fun. Next up, it's another Hulk. Of a completely different style, a much bulkier Hulkier, and his face. That's one angry creature. Really, it does look like he's absolutely raging out to a horrifying extent. Possibly because they forgot to paint his trousers purple. Look, they've just kind of done underpants and left the rest of it so it looks like torn flesh, and it's all a bit unpleasant. But overall, this is far, far better than the other Hulk. Hang on, let's have a bit of a Hulk comparison. It's Hulk and Junior Hulk. It's half-assed confused Hulk and proper raging, steroided-up psycho Hulk. That's the stuff we're after. That's Mark Ruffalo at his meanest. There we are. Go over there. That actually feels solid enough to give to a child. Maybe, not that you would without taking the batteries out so they don't burn out their retinas, but hey, that's the way these things go. New Thor, because we're bored of the old one already. This one seems a lot taller, actually, than previous Thor. Yes, he is. He's to a slightly taller scale. I thought that. Anyway, yes, look at him. He's got slightly different armour and a big lump of plastic masquerading as a cape that falls off, and other such joyful accoutrements. His legs bend, which is... ugh. Oh, look at that. That's not how human knees go. He's got robot legs. Well, he's a god. He can have whatever he likes, I suppose. He's got a sort of black Mjolnir that just about fits in his hand, and I think will come out if I pull it hard enough. And face-wise, we're still not really looking much like Chris Hemsworth. Far more like Kenneth Branagh, in fact. Or maybe just a Jesus of Nazareth. He kind of has got that look to him. There we are, and why not? Maybe Jesus got bored, dressed up as Thor, got himself a hammer, went out and killed some aliens whilst having inhuman knees and a light-up chest. Hey, it's a hobby. Actually, maybe he borrowed one of his dad's hammers. His dad was a carpenter, wasn't he? Imagine that. Jesus, look at this. I'll lend you my good hammer and it's all scratched from where you've been hitting futuristic warrior aliens. I can't trust you with anything. Oh, shut up. You're not my real dad anyway. All right, well, why don't you go and live with your real father in his metaphysical sky paradise then? He won't even give his millions of followers the slightest hint he exists, so I can't see him giving you and your mates a lift at basketball practice every Thursday night, can you? I hate you. You don't understand me or my music. I'm going to my room. Man, I don't know where I was going to that. Now I'm confused myself. I'll bet that's exactly how it happens in the book of the Bible they haven't found yet. Anyway, who's next? That time we had a bloody Iron Man, actually. Here he is, with his completely pointless gun. I thought the idea was that Iron Man is basically lots of guns, but for some reason he has an extra one he sticks on his hand. Well, I say gun. It looks more like a vacuum cleaner attachment for doing the curtains or something. Let's get rid of that. But wait for it. His chest lights up and it actually makes sense for once. Hooray! And there was much rejoicing and binding in the marshes. Yeah, he's kind of dangerously thin, this Iron Man, I would have said. There'd be no room for him in his armour. He'd be like Skeletor in there. In fact, with these modern Iron Man things, that is a bit of a problem. There's no room for any padding. If he was hit with something, it'd just break all his bones. There, wish I hadn't thought of that. That's ruined the next movie for me. But hey, he's got some articulation. Could be a Marvel Legends sculpt again, actually. Arms, just move up and down, which is a bit restrictive. Appears to be made of more solid plastic than the others. Again, this second batch actually do seem to be slightly better on that front. But hey, they found a figure and ripped it off, and it looks like Iron Man. What more does little Jimmy want? He, of course, wants Black Widow that doesn't look like a creepy man in drag. And here she is. Instead, it looks like his mum or something, looking a bit confused and worried. Also, it looks like it's somebody wearing a mask, actually, and the mask is peeling away. That's quite spooky. The legs don't move at all. It's just hard rubber. You've just got 2 points of articulation on the arms and one on the neck there, and that's your lot. And she's holding the world's most feeble starting pistol. Wow, run for the hills, Loki. That might, put a small dent in your head. But somehow, I doubt it. So this is weird. It's more a sort of rubber figurine than actually a proper figure going on there. And she just looks so worried. She really doesn't want to be. She just realised she has no superpowers. And she's having to fight super extra-dimensional aliens with the help of giant green monsters. And she has nothing to do except shoot her pathetic little gun. Oh, I'd feel sorry for her if she wasn't so damn creepy. It's weird. You know, you get those pictures where the eyes seem to follow you wherever you go. This figure's eyes don't follow you wherever you go. You can't actually make it look like she's looking at you no matter where you angle the head. Oh well, go and live over there. Because it's everybody's favourite, Hawkeye! Yeah, go Jeremy Renner with your bow and arrow and, again, no actual superpowers. Well, again, they've made their own sculpt of this, I think, or I thought they had, until I realised that the body seems to have been stolen from Thor, and is indeed made of very thin, light plastic, whereas the arms are made of much heavier rubber. I think the rule is crappy, cheap plastic for sculpts they've ripped off from other people, hard rubber for ones they've done themselves. But they did try. Look, he's got this sort of weird exoskeleton things over his fingers to help him pull his arrows back. And I suppose the face does look very loosely like Jeremy Renner. More like Jeremy Renner's dad, actually. Looks like there's a character in Neighbours it reminds me of. Somebody Robinson? Can't remember. Also looks a little bit from the side like Rory from Doctor Who, so he'll probably die in every film and then come straight back again. But they did give him the bow accessory, which is quite important, and even a little quiver on his back there, so hey, at least they tried. And for once, his doesn't light up in the chest. Oh, I lied. Actually, this Black Widow, being hard rubber, doesn't have that light up. Ah, that's something. Bonus points for not having a crap feature. And the very last one, to bless our eyeballs today, it's good old Nick Fury. White Nick Fury, apparently. Don't quite understand that. Also, probably hydrocephalic Nick Fury. I don't think Samuel L. Jackson's going to be happy with that. I'm sick of these monkey-fighting water in my Monday to Friday cranium, is what he would say if he was in hospital. Wish I'd thought that line through first. Well, tiny pistol. Not quite as pathetic as Black Widow's starter pistol, but again, he would try and start a three-legged race amongst some children, and they probably couldn't hear him. And again, like Black Widow, just one lump of hard rubber. No articulation below the sort of armpits. Weird blue fleece thing he's got underneath. And hey, he's got sort of an open jacket. Looks a little bit Nick Fury-y, if he wasn't the wrong bloody colour. One problem though, the arm articulation's crap. I mean, he can do this sort of power salute thing going on there, but it's been so sculpted into such a very specific position that if he attempts to shoot somebody, he kind of has to run around at an angle where he'd break his own arm from the recoil. I can't understand why you're in charge, Fury. Get over there. And there we are. That was the Avengers Assembled, according to China. Some real choice faces there. My personal favourite, I think, being the first terrifying Black Widow android bloke in drag. I just don't get what it's going to be brutally honest with you.